Hello everybody, welcome to Sane Game Studios. I'm Sane, I'm an amateur game developer. Today on Gamemaker Tutorials, I'm going to be taking a look at semi-solid platforms. By semi-solid platforms, I mean platforms that you can jump through the bottom of, but you land on the top of. Honestly, semi-solid platforms are not something I've ever built before. It's not something I've ever included in any of my projects. It's never even anything that I've watched a tutorial on before, so I honestly have no idea how to build these things. What I do have is a pretty general understanding of Gamemaker Studios and how to code within Gamemaker Studios, and I feel pretty confident that I can build one. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to build one, and then I'm not going to sit here and promise that this is the most performance way to do this. I'm not going to pretend that it is the easiest or best way to do this. I'm just saying that if I wanted to go build one and I had no idea how to build one, this is how I would just go about building one. So before I get started, I like to go through what I have going for my project so far. If this is something you do not care to watch or something that you just don't really care about at all, you can just go ahead and skip to the next timestamp and that will get you into the actual tutorial. For those of you who want to stick around, my project is a pretty basic platformer. All I have going on is some really simple platforming code. I do have animations and everything, but let's just get into it. So I have my falling sprite, my idle sprite, my jumping sprite, my walking sprite. Finally, I have a wall sprite, but it's just a blue square. In my objects, I have two objects. I have OWall, and it has no code. And I have OPlayer, and OPlayer has some very basic platformer code. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm declaring my variables for getting player input, I'm declaring my variables for calculating my player input, and I'm declaring the variables I need to calculate. So right here, I'm declaring my variables for getting my player input, I'm declaring my variables for calculating my player speed, and here I'm declaring the variables that I need to calculate my speed. Finally, I have a boolean that determines whether or not I am currently on the ground. And then, if I go to the step event, I'm getting my player input. I'm just using the arrow keys on the keyboard. I'm creating a local variable, I'm naming it move, and I'm assigning it to key right minus key left. And the reason why I'm doing that is that if I'm holding the right key, not the left key, then it turns a positive 1, which has me moving in the positive direction, which is right on the x-axis. Same thing with the left key. If I'm holding the left key but not the right key, is 0 minus 1 becomes negative 1. I'm moving in the negative direction, which is left on the x-axis. And if I'm holding both of them, it equals 0, and they cancel each other out, and I don't move at all. And then I'm using I'm using this variable to multiply it with my walk speed to get my horizontal speed, which will have me moving in either direction respectively. And then if I am on the ground and I hit the up key, I am minusing jump height off of my vertical speed, and then I am adding gravity to my vertical speed every single frame regardless of what I'm doing. If I am about to be hitting a wall at my current position on the x-axis plus my horizontal speed, I am checking to see if I am hitting a wall at half my horizontal speed. And if I am not hitting a wall at half my horizontal speed, I am halving my horizontal speed and then adding that to my x value and then zeroing my horizontal speed. I'm doing the exact same thing with vertical speed, and the only difference is that when my vertical speed gets zeroed, I'm setting my grounded to true, and then if I am not place meeting with a wall on the y-axis, then I am setting grounded to false. And then I'm committing to my movement. If my horizontal speed is not equal to 0, I'm using image x scale to my sine HSP, and that's going to flip my sprite left or right to have me actually face and move in the proper direction that I'm going. If I am on the ground and my horizontal speed does not equal 0, which means I'm on the ground and I am moving, I'm setting my sprite index to equal s player walk. Otherwise, I'm setting my sprite index to be s player idle. Else, so if I'm not on the ground and my vertical speed is less than 0, which means I am moving in the negative direction, which is up on the y-axis, I'm setting my sprite index to be s-player jump. Otherwise, my vertical speed is 0 or greater, which means I've either hit the top of my jump or I've started moving down. My sprite index is going to equal s-player fall. Finally, I have one room, and it just consists of this. Then if I run this game, I know what I did. There we go. So if I run this game, I'm able to run and jump and collide. I even collide with the wall over here. It happens, pixel perfect collisions. And then if I try to jump through this, I cannot. So let's fix that. Let's make it so I can jump through this platform. So to do that, as far as I can think in my head, is going to be rather simple. I'm going to go to my O wall, and I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to do it in the variable definitions window, and I'm going to call it Semisolid. I'm going to be assigning this a Boolean, and I'm going to default it to false. I'm then going to go into my room. I'm going to select the specific wall, and I'm going to edit that variable and set it to true. So this right here is the only wall that has the semi-solid variable set to true. Next, I'm going to go into my player events, go to my step event, and I'm just going to cut all my collisions, and I'm going to call a function called player collisions. And then I'm going to create a new script. I'm going to call the script player utility. I'm going to delete the existing function and that. And I'm going to go function player collisions. And I'm just going to paste my collision code in. So I don't need to be dealing with anything here. The only thing that I need to adjust is my vertical collisions. So right here, I'm going to create a local variable, and I'm going to call it var platform. And it is going to equal instance place, and then I'm going to grab this. So what I am doing is I'm not going to be doing this normally like I do. Instead of doing place meeting, I'm doing instance place, which instead of just checking to see if I'm colliding with a wall at all, I am checking to see if I'm colliding with a wall, and if I am grabbing the ID of that specific wall and then storing it in this variable. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see if I found a platform. So if platform does not equal no one. And then, once I've figured out whether or not I have found a platform, I'm going to see if platform.semisolid. So I'm seeing whether or not it is semi-solid. If it is not semi-solid, I just want to grab that and punch it here. If platform does equal no one, however, I want grounded to be false. And I no longer need this collision check. I didn't need it before, but I just still had it, so I had reference to grab the code from it. So I'm grabbing the ID of the platform, I'm checking if a platform is found. I'm checking if that platform is semi-solid, and if that platform is not semi-solid, I am doing a normal collision check with it. Next, I'm going to see if my vertical speed is less than or equal to 0, because that's going to tell me whether or not I am moving downwards in my jump. Because if I am not moving downwards in my jump, Again, I just want to do a normal collision with it. I'm just going to grab this code, copy, paste, tab it out. Actually, no, I don't want to do that because that would stop it from being semi-solid. Like I said, I've never done this before. But I do want to do it here. And I do want an else statement because all of my collision checks, y plus VSP, y plus VSP times 0.5, all of that is seeing whether or not I am currently colliding, if I'm about to be colliding with a wall, and then stopping me before I'm actually overlapping with the wall. Okay, and then instead of O wall, I am going to just put in platform. And I think that'll do. Let's run this and check. See, I want greater than or equal to 0. I was doing the opposite. Alright, so that's working great. I do have one question in my head though. So if I go to my room, and I put an O wall like right here, and then I tick this as semi-solid, what happens if I start moving down while I am inside the wall? See, I don't want that. It gives me the ability to get stuck inside of it. So I'm just going to assume that the player wants to jump through that floor. So I'm also going to say while place meeting XY platform Y minus minus. And that is going to see if I'm currently inside the wall, and if I am inside the wall, it's just going to send me upwards through the wall. Let's just make sure that works. And it does. So there you have it. Coming in with no experience. The only thing I can see that's kind of a pain in the ass is I cannot move horizontally while I am inside the wall. So I'm going to cut my horizontal collision. And I'm going to punch it in here. And make sure that doesn't affect too much. Oh, but what it does do is give me the ability to do this. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to accept that I can't move horizontally through walls. So there you have it. There is my way of building a semi-solid platform. Like I said, I've never done this before. If you have any suggestions or you know any ways to improve what I have done, you can go ahead and comment those down below. Not only does that help me learn better ways to improve upon my systems, but if somebody else, like another viewer, is watching this and they have the same kind of input, or you think of something they didn't think of, you can actually improve their project by commenting. So if you see any improvements that could be done, please comment that down below. If you have any questions about what I have done, or you have any questions about my mental process of walking through this, you can go ahead and comment those questions down below. If you have any tutorial suggestions or anything you would like to see, you can go ahead and comment those down below. I am always looking for new tutorial ideas and things that I can teach you guys. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like, and also consider subscribing to my channel. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a good one, and peace out.